The repair kit includes the parts you need to rebuild your carburetor. It consists of the gaskets, reed valve, the diaphragm, an internal filter, the metering needle, and an E-ring. The carburetor can be plugged by debris or corrosion. When this occurs, you will need to disassemble the carburetor and carefully clean it. The kit includes the parts of the carburetor that require maintenance or that might be damaged during disassembly, such as the gaskets. Installing a repair kit in your carburetor is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how. I'll begin by removing the carburetor. I'll remove the throttle cable and the fuel lines. With the carburetor removed, now I can disassemble it. I'll start by removing the 4 screws near the primer bulb. With the screws removed, now I can disassemble the carburetor into its various components. The primer bulb and base, the check valve, the diaphragm and its gasket, and the metering base. I'll go ahead and remove the metering needle and lever. It's held in place with a single screw. On the back side of this piece, I'll remove the gasket and the reed valve, and also the internal filter. Now I can remove the next base and the gasket. At this point, the carburetor would be ready for cleaning. You want to clean all of the tiny openings inside the carburetor. You can use carburetor cleaner to do this by carefully spraying it through each opening, or you could use an ultrasonic cleaner. The ultrasonic will clean more thoroughly and faster. You would also want to clean the components of the metering needle, with the exception of the needle itself, as it's replaced in the kit. Once everything is cleaned, you can go ahead and reassemble. To keep everything organized as I reassemble the carburetor, I'll first replace the old parts from the carburetor with the new parts in the kit. And now I can put it all back together. First, the rubber gasket that goes on the base of the carburetor between it and the thin metal casting. Then the reed valve, and reed valve gasket. Now I'll reinstall the metering needle onto the base. I'll take the new metering needle from the kit and place it onto the lever. The pivot pin is already installed into the lever. I'll place the spring back into the base, and I'll carefully align the metering needle with the base and install it with the lever. I'll hold this in place and reinstall the screw. Now I'll turn this over and reinstall the internal filter. I'll place the filter over the hole in the base and then gently press it into place with a small screwdriver. Now I can install the metering base back onto the rest of the carburetor. Followed by the diaphragm gasket, and then the diaphragm. Now the primer bulb check valve, and the primer bulb and its base. And I'll resecure everything with the screws. And now the carburetor is ready to be reinstalled. First, I'll replace the fuel lines. The incoming line and the return line. And now the throttle cable. With those in place, I'll align the carburetor with the isolator and boot. I'll reinstall the rubber boot on the upper portion of the carburetor intake, and now I'll secure everything with the air filter base. And I'll finish up by reinstalling the air filter and the air filter cover.